Hi there. Welcome to the Winthrop Rockefeller The Yarn See Alice contest promotion. I am so excited. My name is Denise Barretto, and I'm from the Relationships Matter Now. We are a partner of the Winthrop Rockefeller Foundation, and we are doing this contest in conjunction with my special guest, Hilary Trudell, who's the executive producer of The Yarn. Yeah, love brand placement. Tell us a bit about The Yarn, would you?
Yeah, absolutely. Hi, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. I'm the executive producer of The Yarn, and we are a storytelling organization. We've been producing shows in Central Arkansas for about 3 years now, and our mission is to amplify voices, build understanding, and create a space for human connection. So I'm super excited to be working with Winthrop Rockefeller Foundation on this project. So important that we give faces to Alice in Arkansas, and I'm totally on board, here to help, excited for the journey ahead of us.
Thank you so much, Hilary. And they are our co-sponsors of this. So just in case, because we've been talking about Alice in the WRF channels and the Winthrop Rockefeller channels for the last few weeks, but I feel like it's worth me giving you a little bit of background. So ALICE is an acronym that is widely used across the United States that stands for Asset Limited, Income Constrained, Employed. And these folks, quite frankly, are the heart and soul of not only the state of Arkansas, but our nation. And they're holding us up right now. A lot of them are essential workers. And like we said, this data we just actually introduced in Arkansas just about 6 weeks ago on March 10th, before the COVID-19 crisis presented itself. And honestly, we always saw Alice, but now after COVID, we were trying to think, what are some other things? And we had a whole, we have a whole bunch of things planned to stand up for Alice in advocacy, but we really wanted to be responsive and do something to quickly make sure that not only we, those of us who talk about Alice, can see Alice, but we want all of you to see Alice. And so that's why we thought of having a storytelling contest where our contest is designed to dispel the myths, right? There's myths and widely held beliefs about Alice households, who make up about 41% of all households in Arkansas. And these folks, they face tons of challenges and barriers that limit their ability to gain financial sustainability and stability. And so, especially in these days of COVID, we wanted to do something to respond to this. And so that's where this contest came. And we want your stories. We want you to go to our website, which is www.alicenar.org, and just push on the See Alice contest tab, and all the information will come up there. But the gist of it is this: the contest opened on Monday night, and the first round goes through next Friday, May 1st. That's all of our preliminary entries. And once you make it through the preliminary entries, we put together this awesome creative team, of which The Yarn is part of. And you'll see in our series of videos, we have lots of great creatives who are helping to support, but you don't get to hang out with them until you get your entry in and make it into the top 10. So what I'm going to talk about before I ask Hilary the big bonus question, I want to tell you the how, right? We want your story, and your story is worth cash money, okay? The top prize in this contest is $1,000. That's right. And the Sec 2 honorable mentions will get $250 and lots of exposure. And so we want you to really understand the how, right? In a previous video, I talked about what the entries were. This video, we're going to talk about the how. And we do have a tiny, tiny bit of ask of how. And here's why. We're myth busting, right? So when you're myth busting, we want to make sure that we tell the stories in a way that brings dignity and honor to the most resourceful, hardworking folks in our state. So there's 4 little things. First, we want your story to be asset framed. And you might say, what do you mean by asset framed? We want you to focus on the resourcefulness and the determination of your family or your household's, determination to succeed. And in spite of the reality, right? Show us why Alice households are assets to our community and not some of the other things that some of the myths say. Next, we want you to characterize and humanize. Now, of course, we know that these households experience hardship. And if your story is mostly about hardship, we do not want to censor you from telling it. But we know there's more to you than the hardship. We know that your resourcefulness and there's a broad picture of who you are and how you show up in the world. And we want to put a face to that for people. We think that people have these myths about the people that are hardworking. And if it were hard work only, we wouldn't even have Alice households. So second was characterize and humanize. Third is do what you can to counter stereotypes, right? We need to reframe and debunk these myths concerning what it's like to struggle to make ends meet, particularly as it relates to class, gender, and race. So anything you can do to bust stereotypes. And you know what? Some stereotypes are rooted in truth, but we don't want you to lean on the stereotypes. Finally, we want you to offer a systemic analysis. And what we mean is tell us what's not working for you, right? We have government, we have philanthropy, we have all these different services that are out there, and there's definitely systemic barriers, and we think we know what some of those are, but we want to hear from you. What are the things that have nothing to do with your personal responsibility? We know you're doing everything you can do, and so tell us what some of those barriers are. So that's a little bit of the how. And like I said, we're so excited for the top 10 after we get those entries in. By the way, we have entries already, and we just opened Monday night. So woo, we're really excited about that. So you need to get on your entries. Like I said, I'll repeat all of that in a second, but I do want to give Hilary a chance to tell us what superpower she's going to bring to bear for any of our entrants that make it to the second round. Hilary?
Yeah, thanks so much, Denise. My superpower, I would say, is my ability to coach people tell their best story, right? So I've been producing shows since I was 6 years old, and that's given me a lot of time to,
so
really
for like 10 years then, right?
For like 10 years, yeah. I'm only 16, Denise. Surprise! Not true. But yeah, so I've been producing shows for a long time, and I've found that that's given me a lot of time and ability to think of what frames a great story. So I've been story coaching for about a little over 6 years now, and through that time, I've coached almost 200 people. It's going to be
wow, that's so cool.
Yeah, so I love talking to people about their stories, trying to figure out what's beyond what they're saying, right? So we can really frame a story that's going to touch hearts and change minds and really start busting those myths and changing that narrative of Alice in Arkansas.
Thank you so much. I am so glad. You got to know this. I didn't even plan to use the part of the story today that I was going to use with the right person, but it worked out really well because us talking about the how definitely goes hand in hand with our expertise that we're going to get from Hilary. So thank you for joining today. And I just want to reiterate, get all the information that you need at www.alicenar.org. On that website, you will be able to see all the different formats in which you can submit your story, because it's not just limited to people who want to perform. You can submit your story in all kinds of ways. I'm not going to go over it, making sure you go to the website. Next, you have from now, in fact, as soon as this video is over, go and get your entry in.
Go now.
That's right. Now is no time's better than now. You have from now till next Friday, May 1st, for the first round of entries. And then within a week after that, we're going to turn you over to our wonderful creative team who's going to polish those up and get you ready for the final, where you can win $1,000 as the top prize or one of two prizes for $250. Now, the other thing I want to make sure I tell you before we sign off, this is open to anybody in the state of Arkansas that's over 18. So it doesn't matter if you're in the Delta, if you're in Crossett, if you're in Jonesboro, if you're up near Fayetteville, or if you're in Hot Springs, or you're right in Little Rock with the rest of us. You absolutely, we've deployed resources all over the state to help you. So if you run into a problem getting us your entry, go on that website. There's a email to a person who will answer your question, and you can also just put your questions on the comments of wherever this video lands, because we're going to be very responsive in social media, and we're going to be talking about this every day with our creatives. So thank you so much. Again, go to our website, www.alicenar.org. Thanks, Hilary, for joining us.
Thanks, everybody. I look forward to working with y'all. Go submit.